With a warlock, you have what you call an eldritch blast. You can't see it, but it's actually just there, right? Where I'm pointing at. Eldritch blast is one of the better early spell games to use, and you can only have that as a warlock. While he was jumping, he was charging all his eldritch blast as he can, and he is gonna do like a 360, no, not a 360, a 180-degree turn and put in eldritch blast towards this Gimblebach, which misses because he was so confident in jumping that he just totally missed his eldritch blast. What an embarrassing turn of events for our friend Tav. I'm gonna play the sad tune for him. A moment of silence for our dear friend Tav, who just missed his Eldritch Blast because of jumping the F away. Welcome to Skyelancer, the official launch of this gaming channel. Multi-streaming via 3 platforms. You can reach me through Facebook at the Skyelancer. You can reach me also through YouTube at Skyelancer20. And special participation for Twitch for this specific game that I'm going to be streaming, Baldur's Gate Free Early Access, because Twitch has a special integration wherein viewers can actually vote and ultimately choose for the streamer in terms of the character choices and whatnot. I've got you covered. At least I have a little knowledge of the history, just the base knowledge of the history of Baldur's Gate, story-wise, lore-wise as well. So, 5th edition, very simple. Think of it as a choose-your-own-adventure, as I mentioned. And think of this game as a game that encourages you to fail, because everything you do is basically because of a die roll, or everything you do is affected by your die roll. When you choose a warlock has a pact with a divine being. Could either be a devil, it could either be, at least in the book, it could either be the Great Old One, it could either be a fiend of sorts. Some powerful creature that they make a deal with to have some power in exchange for serving this specific fiend or this specific Great Old One. So I'm going to choose Great Old One because it has Tasha's Hideous Laughter, which is one of my favorite spells in D&D. It makes people stop and laugh. It's pretty much a it's not a damaging spell, but it's a spell that would actually help when you're facing a mob. Dissonant Whispers as well as something like that too. So it's a crowd control spell. So these two are crowd control spells, very useful. And with a warlock, you have what you call an Eldritch Blast. You can't see it, but it's actually just there, right? Where I'm pointing at. Eldritch Blast is one of the better early spell games to use, and you can. So, as you can see, there are a lot of skills here, from Arcana to Survival. D&D is all about dice rolls. Whenever you do anything, you roll a dice. You roll a 20-sided dice. And it depends on what type of action you're doing, wherein your skill proficiency would count. So for instance, you're just looking for something in a room. And when you look for something in a room, most often than not, it would be an intelligence skill with investigation. So you roll an investigation roll, you roll a d20, and depending on how difficult it is to hard that object you're finding in the room, it could be very difficult with 20. So you have to roll a 20, just a 20, because if you roll 19 to 1, you're not going to find it. If you roll a 20 and you get lucky, you find that object. But if you roll anything below 20, unfortunately, you don't find that object. So there are difficulty, there's a DR or a difficulty reading for each challenge that you put into or that you actually partake in. So if it's not really that hard of a thing to find, most often than not, it's going to be 10. So if you roll 10 and above, you'll find it. If you roll a 9 and below, you not going to find it. So that's how it goes. So everything you do, at least in the world of D&D, has a die roll. You want to intimidate someone? You roll a 20-sided die. Someone mentions about something, a holy artifact. You can roll your religion to pretty much know what that artifact is all about, or not know what that artifact is all about. So all things stealth, athletics, it's basically that. Animal handling, very obvious. Animal handling is for you when you encounter any animals, when you're trying to ride a horse, when you encounter an owl bear. What do you do when you encounter an owl bear? Arcana has something to do with mystical deception if you're trying to deceive someone. Yeah, I could go on. See, when you see investigation there, you roll a die, and when you do that, there you go. There's our 20-sided die. You have to target 8. If you get 8 and above, whatever you're investigating, you'll succeed. If you get below 8, then you don't see anything. Let's roll the dice. 16, so I succeeded.
The casing is fragile. The slightest touch could cause it to crumble.
Please. Before they return! They return.
Perception failed. So my perception wasn't high enough to pass that. So my character didn't notice anything. So you sound afraid. Why?
Enemy. So many enemies. A newborn. Born new from this husk.
You realize you're talking to an intellect devourer, a minion of
There we
the
go.
mind flayers who
Since we
abducted you.
picked Arcana as our proficiency, you know what that is. The character knows what that is. So it's an intellect devourer. So it's a minion of the mind flayer. So this is an enemy. So do we destroy the brain? Tell me what to do.
Remove us from this body. From this case. Free us. Please.
There we go. So these are rolls that you do. So investigation, we have +2 from proficiency. So whatever you roll, you add 2. So 8. So this is a low difficulty check, which means most likely we'll succeed. And we did succeed.
You notice edema, a swelling of the brain causing pressure where it strains against the shell of the skull.
And we have just entered our first battle. The enemy is surprised, which means pretty much they skip this turn. It's going to be our turn. So in D&D, when you play tabletop, this is pretty much what's happening in your imagination. When you do a combat encounter, it's really by turns. Yep, initiative. And if you have a high dexterity, you have a high initiative, you have a higher chance of being first. And because D&D is all about action economy, being first is usually a big advantage. These are the actions, okay? Bonus actions are actions you can perform on top of your normal actions. Yes, so these are your bonus actions. You get an action, you get a bonus action, and you get a movement bar. Okay, so in D&D tabletop, you are allowed to run 60 feet and you're allowed to walk 30 feet before you do an action. 60 feet, you skip your action. So in lieu of this feat system, they give you a bar. Okay, very smart. And it is now the Githyanki's turn. As you can see, I can only move at until 9 meters because that's what the movement bar only allows. There you go. I move, I put up my... I pretty much use up my movement bar. I can't do anything. Can I throw some stuff? Oh, no. Why would I throw a potion at the enemy or a shoe? No. Can you attack? Oops. Range attack. There you go. There we go. You have a range attack. 85% to hit. Surprised. Mother. Only 1 damage? Wow. That's a pretty bad roll. So I used my action. I don't have any bonus action. I could have dipped that into flame, but I'm not quite sure if that's a good idea because we're in hell and we're battling imps. They might be resistant to fire. Very important in D&D when you're playing here or even in tabletop. Action economy is key, so you just keep on eliminating one person at a time. Because if you balance it out to different monsters, the action economy will get into you, and you'll be at a disadvantage in the future, in future rounds. When you attack, even with your arrow or a melee, you can't cast any more spells. Or cantrips, rather. But why can't I cast Healing Word, though? Is it because this is a cantrip? See, it's a bonus action. This is a bonus action. It's stated at below. You won't see it because I'm blocking the way. But Healing Word is a bonus action. Shield of Fate is a bonus action. That's why I can use it. And I am going to stay here. Because this might be over, ladies and gentlemen. With my Eldritch Blast, if I roll a 9 or a 10, this is... And it's a critical miss, which means I rolled a natural 1. I'm so glad that we don't have any consequences if I rolled a natural 1. Attack. Skip. Eldritch Blast again. Boom. Oh, that's a natural 20. There you go. My first natural 20 of the evening. When you hit a natural 20, it's pretty much critical damage. Whatever you hit will be doubled. So if you roll a 4 for damage, that will be 8. The creature also has disadvantage on an ability check for one ability of your choosing. So what does this mean? What does disadvantage mean? Similar to the players or us, creatures also roll a d20. Whenever they roll at a disadvantage, they roll 2 d20s, and they always take the lowest or the lower ones out of the 2 rolls. So say this creature rolled an 18, which hits, and he rolled, because he's rolling at disadvantage, he rolled another one, he rolled a 6, which doesn't hit. He'll have to take the 6, and that's a miss. So that's what disadvantage is. And of course, when you're rolling with an advantage, you roll twice and you take the higher number. So that's the thing with 5th edition. They made it simpler. You either roll with a disadvantage, you either roll flat, or you either roll with an advantage. I can do Potion of Healing as a bonus action. Thank you! Because in the real tabletop, 5th edition rule set, it's DM dependent. But most of the time, when you do a potion, that's an action. You can't do anything else. But since this is a bonus action, it really helps people. It helps me. Because I can heal up and I can still attack. So I'm good. I'm probably going to win this encounter. As long as I don't roll bad. Oh, I'm concentrating. So what happened? What just happened? My character was concentrating on Tash's hideous laughter, which makes one of the person just in front of Shadowheart laugh and be prone. So, as long as he is concentrating, that spell is in effect. The archer dude or whatever from afar hit my character and hit it, and he or she hits. It breaks concentration, which means this person in front of Shadowheart is not laughing anymore and prone, and is back in the action economy in the battle. So that's just what happened. I'm trying to explain the best I can on what words you see it, what roles and whatnot, to help us enjoy this stream better. So that's what happened. Concentration out. Another one comes on in. Another one of the enemy comes on in the action economy. All right, let's do this. But since I have sleep, let's make him sleep. 7. Ah, you're not gonna laugh, huh? I'm gonna make you sleep. There we go. Uh-oh. 5. This wizard or whatever you are, Quilana, I am not happy with what you're doing. Eldritch blast the F out of you. Boom! Wabba dub dub! I'm gonna end my turn. Sacred Flame. 60%. You're gonna burn. What? What happened? Saving throw. So what just happened? I rolled in Sacred Flame, and he saved against that, meaning he rolled better than me. It is what it is. It is what it is. That's a miss. This guy is still sleeping, which means... Oh! Firebolt. Okay, so... A second spell that's very used often in D&D is what you call the Firebolt. If you're not a warlock, you must be either a sorcerer or a wizard. The next best thing to Eldritch Blast is a Firebolt, because this is a cantrip which you can repeat every turn. However, unlike the Eldritch Blast rather, that's 1d10, 10 maximum damage. This is 1d6, so you can only do up to 6 maximum damage. But 6 is good enough, assuming you roll a 6. So we'll see if we roll a 6 here, even a 4. If you roll a 4, Ignis. There we go. 4 plus 3. I didn't know where the bonus came from, so I don't know how we can recompute that, but it's okay. He died. That's the most important thing. And the only enemy left is this sleeping fella. Grimblebach, who is now feeling threatened because... oh, gosh. Okay. I thought my character was gonna die. Whew. Not on my watch, because... Oh, I'm threatened, so I have to get out. Can I jump out of the way? Do I trigger a reaction when I jump away? Let's experiment. Because here's what's happening. If I move... I'm not sure if you can see the arrow just between Gimblebach and I. That's an opportunity attack. When you move out of the way, he gets a free attack on you. But if I jump out of the way, does he attack me too? He doesn't. So a good tip is you don't move out of the way when you're encountering a melee character. You jump out of the way. And since he just jumped, while he was jumping, he was charging all his Eldritch Blast as he can. And he is gonna do like a 360, no, not a 360, a 180 degree turn and put in Eldritch Blast towards this Gimblebach, which misses because he was so confident in jumping that he just totally missed his Eldritch Blast. What an embarrassing turn of events for our friend Tav. I'm gonna play the sad tune for him. A moment of silence for our dear friend Tav, who just missed his Eldritch Blast because of jumping the F away. Gimblebach is gonna die soon. The only question is, to who? Obviously not to Shadowheart, because that hit was not enough to crush his brain. I am DMing, by the way. I'm DMing while we play, which is amazing, by the way. It's a really great experience. So Shadowheart just swinged and didn't get the cranium of Bimblebach, or whatever the name is, Gimblebach. And let's see if this our wizard will be able to kill him with. Shall we hit him with a staff? 64% chance, or should we just put him to sleep? Because it's a spell slot. It's not a cantrip. You know what? There we go. Staff. He was so, he was already casting spells here and there, and he just wanted to hit someone with a staff. And lo and behold, he hit the cranium of the person and he just flat out flatlined. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. I don't have any more spell slots. So this is what happens. Well, this is the difference between a spell and a cantrip. Spells are more powerful innately, but they run out. So if you're not out of spell slots, you can't use any more spells. You can't use Guiding Bolt, which is a powerful 4d6 damage roll. You can't use Great Water for some odd reason. You can't Great Water anymore. So if you're out in the desert, you're gonna die. You can't use Healing Word again and again and again. When you use a cantrip, rather, like my Eldritch Blast, you can use that again and again and again, even though you don't rest. You can use it forever. But generally, cantrips are weaker than spells. So that's a trade-off you do in the world of D&D.
There.
Oh, Gimblebach! The one that the wizard just hit in the cranium. Alright, so here we go. We have performance. Because I am very charismatic. I am a warlock, a drow warlock, half drow. You can roll for that, and you can have +3 to any of your rolls. Or you can deceive. Let's see. Should we perform or should we deceive? He needs help now. I think we should deceive because I'd rather have him come out than us go in and be surprised by, I don't know, whatever inside is that in that dungeon or whatever. He needs help now. Let's roll. Rolling the die, and I need a 7, and then have a +3. And I failed, even with a +3. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and who are you? Probably you're trapped.
Oh my
digging in.
gosh.
Come through that door and you're getting a knife in the guts.
Okay, so we failed in convincing this person. So that's what happens in D&D. When you fail, you can either force yourself in, or you can think of some other way and just, maybe there is another way inside without using this door. So this is a game that encourages you to fail, because even though you have good modifiers, I had a bonus +3 charisma, I needed to score an 8, which is a very low roll and it's high success chance. I rolled a 6, even with my +3 bonus, which means I rolled a 3 originally. And I failed this encounter. I was so confident that I was gonna deceive this guy, but it didn't happen. So that's what's happening. That's what happens in D&D. You don't feel bad when you fail. If you're a min-maxer, D&D is not for you, because you will definitely fail in some of the encounters here. So it is a game that encourages you to fail. I'm not sad that I failed that encounter. I was surprised, but I'm not sad. Well, Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave to push you back. Come on. What? Saving throw. It doesn't, so the pushback doesn't apply because, again, the ward passed his saving throw. Freaking not doing well. Okay, my crowd controller. Dissonant Whisper. Tasha's hideous laughter. Inflict a creature. Whisper dissonant melody to a creature. It takes 3d6 psychic damage and becomes frightened. So my optimal damage is 18. So if I hit max, I could probably finish off this with the risk of me getting killed by the bugbear. But that's okay because we want to eliminate as much as enemies in the turn order as much as possible. Whisper. Now it's frightened. Now it's gonna go away. That's good. So we eliminated one out of the action economy. And I guess we could jump out of the way. Jumping out of the way. Boop. There we go. And there we go. Let's go far away as I can. So my half drow just whispered sweet nothings to the warg. And now the warg is dead. Thank you, Shielded Frontier person. See, that was an opportunity attack. because he moved, but he missed. And now my wizard is dying. He's not gonna die until he rolls 3 death saving throws. Oh, or fails 3 death saving throws. Or if I help. Okay, so what do? So there's this bugbear, and there's this, if I heal, well, in D&D terms, if I heal someone, that's an automatic revival, meaning to say he gets out of the death saving throw instance. So let's try to heal our dear friend Gale. There we go. He's back up with 7 HP. The rule still applies. He passes all his death saving and he's considered as rejuvenated. And since this is a bonus action, I can use another action, or I can use a real action rather, which is guiding. Do I have guiding bolt? I only have sacred flame. Oh no, I can't. Guiding bolt. It's not enough spell slots, so I've used all my spell slots for guiding bolt. Okay, so turn undead, resistance, invoke duplicity, grant another creature advantage at stealth checks. Nope. The only thing I can use is sacred flame. 55%. Let's see if I attack. If I attack him, there's a 50% chance to hit. If I use sacred, I'm gonna catch witch bolt because I'm not playing games anymore. 55% to hit, 5 damage. Not bad, but I'm gonna get away as far as I can. Tav, so 11 HP. What happens when I hit with my Eldritch Blast? I need to roll an 8 at least, so that my +3 will be able to kill him, which is probably not gonna happen. So we'll see. Or I could Tasha's Hideous Laughter him, so he could just laugh on the floor with 60% chance to hit. That's what I'm gonna do. Yep. I told a joke that made him laugh and roll on the floor laughing. And even when he is laughing, this Shield of the Frontier guy gets a miss. So what just happened? A while ago, we just hit the bugbear with Tasha's Hideous Laughter. He was rolling on the floor laughing. So that spell isn't forever. We broke concentration a while ago, and that spell stopped. However, why did this bugbear get up? Every turn that the bugbear has, when you're affected by some condition, you roll a saving throw. And when you pass that saving throw, doesn't matter what happens, as long as you pass it, you resist whatever happens or whatever spell or condition you're in. That means even though you are affected by Tasha's Hideous Laughter, he rolled a death saving, not a death saving throw, he rolled a saving throw and he resisted. Now he's up, now he can do action again. That's the beauty and sadness of what's happening on with the combat system. You can still be resisted even though you're so confident in crowd controlling people. That's okay, because this person is gonna die soon because I have Sacred Flame. 55% chance to hit with 1 damage. Okay. That was my minimum roll for damage, which is not good. Firebolt 1d6. If I hit the maximum roll for Firebolt, which is a 6, I kill this fella. And I did it. So that was my maximum hit. The good thing about Baldur's Gate and D&D itself is it's replayable. It is replayable. So we'll journey with this together as the game improves over time, and hopefully when the game finally comes out, maybe in a year's time or so, then we'll get to play again in full fashion. We'll see what happens. Thank you for being with me. 7 to 11, we'll journey again. We'll continue journeying through Faerun, through Baldur's Gate 3 Early Access Edition. Cheers, folks. Have a good evening.